Okay, okay. We are day four in getting this done. I'm excited because I'm excited for my own consistency, right? A lot of us don't stay consistent, we don't stay committed, and then we expect different results. So I'm proud of myself for showing up for you all as I promised and making sure that I give as much wisdom and as much information as I possibly can, answer all the questions. You all, I had a session this morning, and so it was good to just kind of talk to people and trying to see like where they are. It's given me all of what I need, for sure. But I am grateful. I am very much so um, looking forward to talking to you all today, because what we're talking about today is what some of the indicators are to know if real estate is still a good idea in your area. So, of course, I'm Jasmine Williams. I'm a realtor. I have been a real estate agent in Pennsylvania and in Philadelphia for 13 years. And on top of that, I have been investing in Philadelphia for the last, I guess, maybe 7 years now. And so, with me being able to do that, I have learned a lot. Been through some ups and downs of real estate, and I am grateful that I found real estate because it really truly did save my life. It really allowed me to be able to have some freedom. I'm still seeking even more freedom. So don't get it twisted. I'm definitely not completely financially free. But I do have, my net worth of my real estate portfolio is $3 million. So I would have never been able to do that, just kind of even just being a realtor. So making sure that that net worth is up there and that wealth is there for my children is awesome. Hey, Lead Play, how are y'all doing? I haven't talked to you guys all year, so I need to catch up. But for sure, thinking about what those cycles look like, what does the real cycle look like when it comes to real estate investing is really going to be essential, right? When you think about how this market, with interest rates being high and with interest rates being low for one, and then the rates of homes actually surging. And so at one time, it was like, we saw that homes were going down in price, but now they're back to going being higher. It really just goes down to analyzing, knowing your market, and ultimately being able to say, you know what? I'm purchasing and I'm going to make sure that the deal works today. Because if the deal works today and there's enough room, it will continue to work. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel. And, we all have that saying in real estate that you're going to date the rate and marry the property, because really that's what it comes down to. The rate is going to change, right? So interest rates will go down. We will be able to, have success in any market. But what will happen is that if we don't pay attention, um, housing prices are just going to continue to rise. And so it's really, really, really super important that you all are paying attention to what's happening in real estate and don't get overwhelmed with national news. So when you're hearing on the internet or over on the news, oh no, it's a bad time to invest, or I don't really hear that. I hear, oh, it's crazy, the interest rates and things like that. That really could apply to certain areas that have nothing to do with you. Interest rates are really lower than what they've been, I think, in the last 10 years. So, we just had a time where they were even lower than what they were. And then people didn't take action then. So it's like, oh, I don't even know, what to do. So don't get wrapped up in that, because it will handicapping you. So again, what you want to do is you want to look at those economic indicators, right? So I'm looking at my notes over here to make sure I get over all this. When you're making the decision that you actually want to go ahead and invest in real estate, you want to make sure that you are making that wise decision, but you're looking at not only the global economy or the national economy or even the local economy, but your own economy. Like, what does it look like in your family if you were to make the sacrifice to go ahead and dedicate yourself to going ahead and investing in real estate or anything, right? You have to look at what those goals are, but then in addition to looking at what that looks like, you need to be able to know what indicators make it a good time. And so there's a couple things that you can look at. One, you want to look at the area, right? So you want to look and make sure that if you're investing in a piece of real estate, and I'll show you, I'll share my screen. You want to make sure that whatever you're investing in is making sense. So the easiest way, give me one second. So the easiest way to do that is our friend Google, right? And so what you would do is you're going to put in a zip code and you're going to be able to really tell what the market is doing because the data is out there and it's free, right? So you could go ahead and put in, like I said, 191. Let's just put in 19120, right? And you want to put in like real estate market trends. And so you're going to get a bunch of these sites that come up. You can use Zillow, you can use Redfin. I like Redfin because I feel like the data is more accurate and complete. But as you can see, you can look and see what the median sales price of the homes are in that area. But you can also look at what that actual rate has gone up. So as you can see, it went up 2.2% um, as of January of 2024. So that means that the market is trending up. And now you're able to see exactly what's happening in your area and you're not guessing, right? Again, the information is out here. You just have to seek it, right? Um, knowing knowing and thinking that it's going to be inconsistent or just not make sense, that's not going to hit it, right? What is going to hit it is you doing your research and knowing exactly what you need to look at in order to make sure that your market trends are there. So don't say that you don't know the information. You can Google any zip code in the United States and it will allow you to see specifically what's happening in your housing market and what's happening, what is predicted to happen. So if you look right here, you can look at like this is all trended up over the last, I think we're looking at the 5 years. So we're looking at the 5 year span. It's trended up for the last, it did dip and then it went back up and now it's like on that level playing field in order for it to make sense for you. And you don't have to be a genius to understand this. You could just know that green means up and red means down, right? It doesn't mean that you have to go back to learning microeconomics. These are very simple things and that's why so many people find so much success in real estate because it is so simple. I think that people overcomplicate it and then basically talk themselves out of doing it, right? I just got off a call with someone that's joining our program, and she was like, "Jazz, I just really just feel I'm fearful. What if?" Right? What if it doesn't work? What if this thing doesn't take off for me? What if I, can't do that? Whatever. And there are a lot of what ifs because that's just a part of life. But what if it does work? Right? Like, what if it does really give you what you're looking for when it comes to investing? And then you become a millionaire because, like I was telling the story last night, I didn't know, right? I was buying cheap real estate. My first property was like $14,000. Then I bought one for 18, and then like I went up to like 56,000. I think that was the next one. And then it was like, okay, now step it all the way up, Jazz, by, and then I went back. It was like 30,000 and then it just like kind of hopped all over. But had I not taken that first leap and thought, well, the market is doing this, I don't know, I wouldn't have had the leverage to be able to get even more and be where I'm at now with having the portfolio worth over more than $3 million, and that's the net worth, like, right? Like, so that's after all the bills, that's after all the, all of the debt. And I would have never done that because I would have just kept listening to the general stuff, right? So if you all are just joining me, I am here. I've been here for the last 3 days. This is day number 4. And I always want people to take some action steps. I always want you all to have some things that are tangible that make sense when it comes to real estate investing, and not be so fearful thinking that this is not for you. If you drop in the comments and let me know if you really feel like real estate is for you, what are some of the things that are holding you back if you haven't pulled the trigger yet? And then let's talk about that, right? The other thing that I want to just talk about is the long term and short term implications, right? So some things are, you're thinking or feeling like, oh, I can do a quick flip. And that could be a thing, but what happens when you do a quick flip is that you lose the wealth, right? So as soon as you sell that property, and soon as your the property is sold, you're losing your wealth, right? And that's the reason why I believe in rental properties so much, because at least now I have that leverage. Um I have that collateral to be able to leverage it to do it, other things, you know what I mean? So for instance, in about 3 hours, I'm going to close on a refi. I'll be able to pull some money out of the refi and be able to go into another project, right? Had I not had that real estate investment personally, like my house, if I would have had to pull equity out of my house, then that would be really uncomfortable for me. But out of a rental property, it makes sense. So you have to go ahead and take that leap. And I don't necessarily think that having I don't think that having flip properties is the way, right? Flips can be good for quick cash injections, but by the time you're paying capital gains tax and things like that, it could be costly. And so, not my first choice. Not that I don't, I frown upon it, but it's just not my first choice. Someone said that their credit crashed. So, what is your plan, Jojo, with your credit? What do you feel like you're going to be able to do in order to improve it? And if you would like me to look at your credit report, just shoot me an inbox and I'll take a look. I'm actually looking at 2 credit reports as soon as I'm done this live, so that I can get back to the people that sent me over their report. But also thinking about that, someone, Yaz Bratz said, the New York market is overwhelming. Yes, New York market is overwhelming, and it is crazy up there. But that's why I think that you all should invest in like the Pocono area. I love that area for you all. Allentown, anywhere outside of New York can be, and it's not that far, so that you could go ahead and still get the benefits, and you can do a few different things. So, in September, we're having a retreat. I'm having a retreat with my group, and we're having it in the Poconos. And so where we're having it at is like this woman, she bought an old campground and she turned it into like these luxury cabins. Like, it's beautiful. And so I'm saying that because you could go ahead and do all different, a combination of things in the Poconos to be able to get your rental income, including affordable housing, including vacation rentals, including short-term rentals, midterm rentals, and things like that. So I love that market for you all. And if any of you all want to talk about, what your possibilities are, if you comment blueprint, you'll get a link to my calendar, to be able to set up a call for tomorrow. My calendar closes after tomorrow. Okay, how much is capital gains tax? So capital gains tax is based on what the amount is. So there's no like set amount. Um, the amount is based on what um, your actual tax rate is, like your tax bracket and things like that. So it's a few factors, but I've seen people pay 25% of what they're paying, to be able to get the money and things like that. And um it could become costly. The other thing that you can do to kind of get out of that capital gains is go ahead and roll it into an investment property um, that can be you know beneficial. And it's you know in some case, I realize I have a passion for it. I currently have at 80K in equity. That's awesome. um, and then just so you know, just Kim, to answer your question further, um, the net capital gain, I just Googled it, is no higher than 15%. So while it doesn't seem like a lot, every penny counts. And you know that because you're in the middle of a project right now. And you know that every little penny counts. And so you don't want to give it away when you can keep it as a real estate business owner. Okay, I realize I have a passion for it. Where's your passion coming from with real estate? And you have 80K equity in your personal home. That's awesome. Um, I still would want to know like your particulars before I would say like pull out the equity. Right. Um, so then that's all I got really for today. I really was just helping others buy. Okay. All right. Cool. So okay, so becoming a realtor. All right. So if that's the case, then investment is not necessarily where you need to be. You should just go ahead and get your real estate license. And that may just help you be able to kind of get to your goal and your passion. All right, so I'm gonna go. For sure, if you need me to look at your credit report, send that over. Yes, get out of New York um, with your investing. Live there because it's a beautiful city, but with your investing, I would try to venture out. And then with your for sure, learning what you have as far as your equity and what you need. I think it's JoJo. Um, Figure out what you're going to do with it. Sometimes you just don't want to touch the equity in your house and pull it out other ways. But sometimes when you feel like you are making a educated decision, then you feel a little more secure about doing it and it's not as scary. And if that's the case, then let's go. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure. I can't see the names on Facebook, so I'm just like looking at the whole screen. I appreciate you all. I'm going to come on for um, one more night. So tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, we're going to do the finale. I'm going to just go in on our process. And then if you all want, you all can join me on Sunday. I'm going to do a webinar to really just kind of bring everything full circle on what we do um, as a as a coaching company. And I can't wait. I'm excited about Sunday because we have, I think, let me look and see how many people, where are we at? I think we have, when I last looked, it was like 280, but I could be wrong. Let me see. Let's see. Yeah, well, 582, but I think we're at like 282 for this week. So I've been doing these weekly webinars and I've been showing up consistently, and it feels good because it's building community. It feels good to build that, and so I'm excited about Sunday, and I definitely would love for all of you to join us. So I will see you all tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, and if you have any questions, shoot me an inbox and we can go from there. Thank you.